Good morning, StoryTrading VIPs. A lot to cover. Sorry I'm late, had an unavoidable conflict. We'll try to finish before the market opens, but we'll see. All right, you can see, starting with the major indices, we're getting a bounce back. I think this is just a technical bounce. Goldman Sachs came out this morning now. Pretty much universally, people are expecting 75 basis point increase at the next meeting. You can see my kid back there. I had to bring him to the office this morning. So in any case, let's take a look at the indices over here. Just reviewing, wow, right on the 50 DMA. It's trying to reclaim the 50 DMA. I don't think it will. That'll be something if it does. If it closes above the 50 DMA, it obviously start confusing people of what direction we're going to be going in. You can see the SPY also trying to get back above the 50 DMA. So we're certainly in a zone of, I would say, indecision, right? There's a lot depending on this 50 DMA. Could it have been a little fake out yesterday? We've seen that before. Very often we're right. Look at that. Just beautiful touches of those key moving averages, but sometimes you also get little fake outs like we did back over here. Look at that when we thought maybe we're in a new bull market, March 29th above that 200 DMA. So it's possible you have these like false moves below key levels. So right now, a lot of people are probably confused. A lot of people are either excited or fearful, trying to figure out which direction this market's going to go. So it's in that decision zone. So not an easy market right now. Not an easy market. I'm happy to see oil down for the second straight day in a row. I wonder to what extent this has to do with a stronger U.S. dollar, which I think we're probably having with expectation of higher rates. Man, there's some big, exciting news I want to get to, but let's first. Sentiment is real. This report was not that bad. It's down on a comment during the conference call that a question by an analyst said, well, how do you see the industry like further out beyond the quarter that you're guiding for? Because the quarter, it was a beat on the top and bottom line, and the guide was pretty much in line, just a slight little smidgen low on revenue. And an analyst asked, well, how about beyond that? And they said, well, we don't usually give guidance, but looking at the big picture in the industry, typically this is cyclical, and we had a great year this year, so we're modeling in our own internal modeling that there's going to be a pullback in the industry sometime between now and 2024, right? That's the comment that's now made it into Barron's article, made it into a couple other places that's really impacted the sentiment. People are thinking, oh, this is the peak. PLAB's not going to make $2 a share in earnings anymore in a particular year, which are on pace to get close to $2 this year. And that's why you had the worst day in like 17 years for PLAB. Because I honor that sentiment. Sentiment's important. I don't think we're going to be going above this 50-day moving average over here. Are we on the daily? Just double check. We are anytime soon, above 21 or so. So I did buy some stock on the way down yesterday. My last buy was at $18, so not happy with how that played out. I'm personally looking to, if we hit this resistance level like 1824, now it's a resistance, previously support, I will be lightening my load a little bit. If we drop further, I don't think I'm going to sell. There's obviously is the opportunity to drop further. I don't know, 50, what's this level? Yeah, like there's different support levels you can call out there. You see this one looks like it's right around 1650, 1450, worst case 13. All of that's possible, even though the fundamentals are great, even though PE is like 5 to 8, something like that. It's all on the table, but I am respecting sentiment. And if we reach a resistance level, I'll be taking some off the table. All right, a couple other things. FREY, beautiful chart. I was adding on that news yesterday. What was it? Huge. How many billions of dollars over 3 years? We looked at that yesterday and had a great chart yesterday. So you can go take a look at that news again on FREY. I added a bunch to my long-term IRA. I had some going into this news, so that's great news. And by the way, that's a SPAC. Who says SPACs aren't good? Check it out. We got a couple other SPACs. Let's lead into it by looking at BBBY and CHWY. These are two favorites of the meme stock people because I think Ryan Cohen was involved with both, and he ended up selling BBBY, and now they did a 500 million shelf this morning. So bye bye baby. Look at that. Meme money rotation. And then CHWY, I believe they had a miss. Yep, worse than expected Q2 sales results. So both these companies taking big hits. But look what's going up. I wonder if this can become a meme stock. FAZE. We've talked about this when it was near their D-SPAC. Unfortunately, TD doesn't give me a good chart on some of these D-SPACs, which is terrible. But FAZE, this is the one I did highlight it. Man, when it was going D-SPAC, I didn't stick with it. I noted this as a possible interesting play at a 1 billion valuation at $10. It seems something crazy, but I love these like plays, and I think FAZE and Rumble are very similar in that these are like paradigm shifts like in a business model that no one's ever thought of before, no one's ever seen before. With FAZE, it's like a YouTube channel, right? It's like a bunch of people playing video games on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, that seems crazy. But I asked around, I asked a lot of kids, and people are like, this is the biggest thing ever. Like, man, there was this like 12-year-old who I'm related to, and is like, oh my gosh, you can buy FAZE in the stock market. That's amazing. Oh my God, this thing's going to go to $1 billion. Like, that's how they talk, man. So there's a lot behind that movement. And you see, here's a D-SPAC, and it went to $20 already. But they had big news this morning. FAZE Clan announces partnership renewal with McDonald's, and they can go into here and look at that deal with McDonald's. Actually, I didn't realize it was a renewal when I put out the news this morning. The title didn't say renewal, so that's people in the know it's a renewal. But even a renewal is important. This is the first time news of FAZE and McDonald's is hitting into the mainstream after they've de-SPAC'd, so that's going to be important. Can that become a meme stock? Did it already? I'm not advocating buying it now, but it's something interesting to look at if you're a fast money trader, if you're into these momentum plays. Maybe there's support levels you can play that off of. And then CFVI, that's another one that I think people don't understand, because people don't understand, just like FAZE, people don't understand the TAM. These are like niches that they think are too small. And same thing, if you look at the shorts on CFVI, it's like, oh, it's just a small, tiny little niche, right? Like, people who are not in that niche don't understand how big it is, right? The total addressable market for Rumble is gigantic. Worldwide, we're talking, I think, billions of people who will be interested in alternative speech that is being suppressed by mainstream actors, mainstream establishment. This is a huge, huge niche, which, if not suppressed by the establishment, can end up being worth, I believe, tens of billions of dollars. So that's the opportunity in stocks like FAZE and CFVI. So not all SPACs are doomed for failure, in my opinion. Uranium stocks, are looking at these. Listen, it's been hard to time these. Unfortunately, we have not been able to give you the heads up that uranium is about to pop like today. That's what we love to do at StoryTrading. But I have core positions in all of these stocks, and I did, and hopefully a lot of people in our community also do, because we have multiple presentations on uranium. And just put it on your radar, because we know the fundamentals are great. These are long-term holds for me. And, maybe if you haven't had a chance to get in, look for pullbacks. And I think it's a great long-term investment. UUU, DNN, CCJ, SMR, I have all of them. LIACF, I'm going to point out here again, because it is, I don't know, it hasn't taken off. I think at some point it's going to catch fire. It is pre-revenue, but they have both lithium and uranium mines, pointing that out again. We're watching DRIO, waiting for news. Still hasn't happened. There's a bid this morning. Was there news this morning? I didn't see news. Was there an analyst upgrade? Now the market's opening right now, 458. Look at that. We're never here when the market's open, but I started late, so I got a speed talk like Ben Shapiro. See what else we got going over here. SFET had news this morning. Safety Group looked pretty significant. The headline, strong first half growth, 181% year over year. They had some news in here about good, strong sequential growth and capital they recently raised. This is a cyber security company, I believe. Is it? Let's just double check, because that would be an important sentiment. Yeah, I believe they're in cyber security, which is important, because look at cyber security, how strong it is. CrowdStrike, PanW, ZS. CrowdStrike just had earnings, I believe, this morning, or did they just have an upgrade? Raises price target. Barclays raises price target to 225. I'm not sure when earnings were, but this whole sector is on fire, because he had PanW, Palo Alto. I believe they beat earnings. You can see that gap in the run. Then you have Zscaler, which it's popping this morning on probably the sentiment tailwind of the sector. So interesting stocks to look at. I don't own any of them, but SFET, tiny microcap company, I know some of you guys like that when you get big news. Worth researching if this company is for real or not. Looks like a nice little headline. QCCUF tweeted something out again. today regarding the most recent drill results. So you might want to take a look at that. Clearfield bounced off the 20 DMA. Interesting. That's good to see. So that's been one of our biggest winners in our community. And what else do we have? These. Oh, Zim had some news that looked pretty significant, but I don't know this sector very well. You can go take a look at it. Zim announces large-scale, long-term agreement with Shell. Sounds very interesting. And the stock's been absolutely destroyed. So is there an opportunity here? By the way, I think this was because of some tax change in dividends, right? I didn't look into it, but I just noticed there was a PR that morning right here when it was like $50 about like tax change of how like dividends are supposed to be accounted for. And then I look later in the day and I'm like, it took a, look at that, just been destroyed. So I think that is what may be going with Zim. Is today's news with Shell enough to maybe turn around the stock? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not an expert in it. Maybe you are. So take a look at that or collaborate in our rooms to figure out the impact of that catalyst to see if it's something you might want to invest in. Celsius holding strong. Oh, man. Did we call this a 20 DMA hold? Just barely hanging on. I like that. That's beautiful. So I definitely like this stock. I like the 20 DMA hold. I think this is going to go places. Wow. T-Mobile. All right, baby. This is nearing our wow, that's a big move. 52-week highs 148.04. We're hit 147 this morning. Had a very strong close on high volume yesterday. Look at the strong open with high volume this morning. It looks like, no, that's not. That's yesterday's candle. Only 156,000. But this is something very interesting. I'm still holding October $150 calls. And I think that's all I had scheduled to talk about. So let's quickly go back and look at some of the price action, see if anything stands out. You can see FAZE, CFI. Oh, we didn't look at CFVI, did we? So 11 is a critical point in the chart over here. I had this little W pattern right there in the middle of that little peak there. 11 right there. That's what I'd like to see hold. We're at 1095 now. So this breakout, a little tedious. Volume dropped on the second day, which I don't love to come out for CFVI to take it to the next level. But this is going to be getting exciting fast with the vote on September 15th. And I'll be around to enjoy and play around with that volatility and hopefully make a ton of money. Let's just check the news and then we're going to be out of here. All right. We started around 9. Well, Snap. Oh, well, Snap I talked to you about yesterday. We didn't check it in our chat room. We mentioned Snap because they're cutting 20% of their workforce. So that's probably getting clobbered. CFVI did have news just right before the open there. Rumble subscription product Locals launches article publishing feature. They're always launching new features like every other day. So that is not necessarily such important news. They look at Snap and, oh, even though Snap is cutting 20% of their workforce, maybe people think they'll be profitable sooner by managing their expenses. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a tough couple of weeks, especially for me. PLAB really did not, it was not fun for me. And you can see we're still down this morning. So still some big sellers in PLAB. All right, guys, good luck. Just hang in there, preserve your capital. And if you do that, you preserve your capital, then we will be there when our stocks go the right direction and our accounts hit all-time new highs. It's going to happen. Just hang in there. Have a great day, everyone.